Hi, welcome to Wreath by Marguerite. I'm Marguerite. Today we're going to do a tutorial for an everyday style wreath in the storm door style. It says Home Sweet Home. It's in neutral colors, perfect for every day. Whether you do holiday wreaths or not, this is great for filling in between the holidays, or if you don't do holidays, you can put this up all year round and it'll look great. What is a storm door wreath is what you're probably asking yourself. A storm door wreath is a wreath that comes in between 3 and 4 inches deep. It's super narrow. Let me take it off to show you. So that it won't get crushed when you put it on your front door and shut your screen or storm door. Most doors, once they have a screen door or a storm door on it, have about 4 inches of clearance. So this allows you to put this there, again, like I said, without crushing it. So let's get started on today's tutorial. Okay, before we get started, I'm going to go over what's in your box and what tools you'll need today. First of all, you will get written instructions for everything we're doing here today. Feel free to write on it. It is a great tool if you decide to do another project on your own. A lot of the work is done for you already in this that you won't have to do. There's also a thank you card. Excuse me. You will have a 14-inch wreath frame. If you do this on your own, you're going to need 14 pipe cleaners, 12 for this and 2 for your sign. In this case, you don't need any pipe cleaners for the sign, which you'll see why soon. So you have 12 pipe cleaners on your wreath form. The way it works is you need a wreath form that has 4 rings, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 of these crossbars to best position all your product on it, all your materials. So what you're doing is you're putting 6 pipe cleaners around the outside at the crossbar on rings 1 and 2, and then you're putting 6 pipe cleaners on the inside in between each of the crossbars on rings 3 and 4. See? I've done that for you in your kit, so you don't have to worry about it. I always tuck the pipe cleaners towards the inside of the wreath from rings 3 and 4 because those are going to be for the second layer of mesh and ribbon. The first layer of mesh and ribbon is what we're going to be working on first. Next, you're going to have anywhere from 2 to 6 sets of ribbon. In this kit, you have 6. You have a 1.5 inch and a 2.5 inch wide ribbon in the, what do we call this? Buffalo plaid. Check. Then you have a 1.5 inch and a 2.5 inch of the cabana stripe, and then you have a 1.5 inch and a 2.5 inch in that, I think they call that quatrefoil is the name of the design. So you have 6 pieces of each because you need 36 pieces of ribbon when you do a 3 ribbon bundle, and you'll understand that a little more as we go along. So we're going to mix and match and make 2 different styles of ribbon bundles. So it's going to be this, and this together, and then it's going to be this, and this together. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. You may or may not have extra little pieces, so be careful when you're cutting. Stick that over there. Okay? So let's get started with the list of tools you need. You're going to need a pair of good scissors that you only use for ribbon and the such. I use a Fiskar brand. Don't let people use these scissors elsewhere. It will screw up your ribbon cutting terribly if you use it elsewhere. You're going to need a ruler. You're going to need a chip clip or a clip like this for holding things. You're going to need a set of wire cutters. I also suggest either a pen or a pencil or a dowel like this. This is just for curling your pipe cleaners on the top level. And then this is a plastic embroidery needle that I get at Walmart. This is what I use to help get pipe cleaners through the mesh when I'm putting on a sign that needs that. In this project, you won't need this, but it's good to have for other types of signs, like the MDF signs, because you use staples and pipe cleaners on the back of those signs to hold it onto the wreath. Where this, it's just going to hook onto one of these, and you'll see that shortly. Okay, so let's get started on the wreath. First thing you're going to do, like I said, is have your pipe cleaners on the outside 2 rings, ring 1 and 2, out and in front of you. You're going to want to work with that piece of your project directly in front of you, so you're going to want to make sure as you're working on it, your pipe cleaners are horizontal to you. You can do it like that. I'm left-handed. I feel better if it's at a slight angle, so that helps. I forgot to mention you get 12 pieces of deco mesh. This is a burlap mesh in the beige color. It is 10 inches wide this way, and they are cut at 20-inch lengths, which is what you need. So 12 pieces at 20 inches in length by 10 inches width. Okay? So the first step in assembling the wreath is putting on the first 6 pieces of mesh, and that's where we are now. You want to take out a piece of mesh and put it curl side down on your table. And now this is where the ruler and the clip come in. We are going to determine where the center of this mesh is. Now we're using a solid color mesh, so I use the ruler and the clip. If you use a mesh with pattern in it, it's a little easier to use with or without the clips and ruler. If you have a cutting board like this, you can eliminate the ruler and use that for measuring. You're also going to want a cutting mat to cut your mesh in the first place with a rotary cutter, okay? Don't want to cut it on the table. Some people cut it with scissors. I'm not a fan. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this mesh curl side down and put the ruler on it at 5 inches, and we're going to clip the mesh at 5 inches because, again, this is 10-inch mesh. 5 inches is the center. We're trying to find our center to make it easier for us to ruffle our, on there, got an attitude already, so we can ruffle our mesh evenly. So there's 5 inches. You're going to mark that with your finger, and what you're going to do is you're going to gather the mesh into your hands and back into your thumbs. So you're going to put the thumbs outside of the mesh and start gathering down the center of your mesh towards that clip at the top, bringing the mesh to you or crawling towards it with your hand, gathering nice and tight and low to keep it as thin as possible, because this is technically what's called a storm door or a pancake wreath. And the idea behind that is to keep the wreath as thin as possible so you can put it behind a storm door or a screen door without it getting crushed. And following these steps keeps it as thin as possible, which you'll see in the end. So now I've gathered it all into my index finger and my thumb loosely. Make sure you do it loosely, because if you don't have a complete circle all the way around, you're going to want to adjust it a little bit to make sure all your edges meet and it stays fairly rounded. Usually the first one I do on each wreath is a little more struggle than the others. Don't let it deter you if that happens. So now you're going to take your wreath form in front of you with the pipe cleaners horizontally. You're going to put in your mesh vertically. And then you're going to take the pipe cleaners up and over the mesh, if it'll come up here, and tie it super tight and low 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And pull them up in the air. Now hopefully you still have a perfect circle when you get done with doing that, but as you can see I didn't, and that's completely normal. It's easy to fix. You grab your pipe cleaners, and at the base of the pipe cleaners you pull on the mesh to bring that mesh out to even it out so you have a complete circle. That's way out there, see that? So we need to pull that. Never pull your mesh from the outside edges because it'll change the shape and the design in the mesh. That's still not a circle, so what I need to do is hold the pipe cleaners over here and pull it out from the center. And then we're going to take the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge on one side. Then we're going to take the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge on the other side and see how our circle looks, okay? Now on the bottom layer, the most important thing is to have a good circle on the outside, because what's up here is not going to be seen. It's going to be completely covered. You'll only see it from the back. Then once you have the circle the way you want it to be, you just take the outside edges where it will allow you to curl them under. That helps it hold to itself and keep the shape that you've created with it. Okay? All right. Then I always skip one and go to the next. And then I'll skip this one and go to the next. That's how I layer the mesh, so that it sits flatter. If you want to do it and just go all the way around, that's entirely up to you, and there's nothing wrong with that. User's choice. So you're going to put your next piece of mesh on the table, curl side down, get that ruler out, lay it down, clip it at 5 inches, spin it around, still curl side down, measure that 5 inches, get rid of the ruler, and then scrunch it up. Gather it up with all your fingers into your thumbs, keeping as close to the center as possible. Gathering towards the clip. Get to the top, you take that clip off. Loosely in your index finger and thumb, you hold it so that you can adjust the circle. Make sure your pipe cleaners are horizontal to you on the section you're working on next. Put your mesh in vertically. Make that pipe cleaner nice and tight and low 3 times. 1, 2, 3 twists. Get it up and out of the way for now. Then you're going to take the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. The outside cut edge over the inside cut edge, and you're going to look at it and make adjustments by holding the pipe cleaner and pulling from the center if it's not perfectly round, or as round as you can get it. Never grab from the outside edge of the mesh because you'll change the shape. Make sure you have a nice rounded outer edge, which is what's most important. Get that up there. Don't be afraid of it, but don't be too rough with the mesh. If it's still not working the way you want it, take it out and regather it and put it back in. You just don't want to do it too many times. Okay, we're going to the next one. We got the pipe cleaners out horizontally to us. Grab another piece of mesh. Curl side down. Measure across. The center is 5 inches. We're going to clip it at 5 inches. Flip it around. Remember, it's curl side down. I'm going to use that. 5 inches. We're going to gather into our thumbs, using all of our fingers to gather our way up to the top. Take your time. You can stay in the center. Like I said earlier in the video, if you have a patterned mesh, it's a lot easier to stay on center. You can see why now. Loosely hold it in your thumb and forefinger. Get that circle. Bring it vertically into the horizontal pipe cleaners. Put those pipe cleaners up and wrap them. Twist them 3 times tight and low. 1, 2, 3. Okay, get those pipe cleaners out of the way. Take the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. Take the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. And now you determine your circle. It's bigger on that side than it is here, so I'm going to hold the pipe cleaner and bring them out even. And bring it out a little in the center here to get that roundness. Remembering that the outside edge is what needs to be round. This can be a little funky. It won't hurt anything because it's not going to be seen. So see? So now we're going to go around and we're going to do the other 3 in between each of the pieces of mesh that we put down already. Okay? Curl size down. Measure to 5 inches and clip it. Turn it around, curl side down. Measure it again to gather at 5 inches. Gather into your thumbs. Crawling up the mesh with your fingers, keeping it nice and small gathers. Get it up to the top. Remove your clip. Hold it loosely. Make sure your edges meet. Put that in the pipe cleaner vertically. Wrap that pipe cleaner nice and tight 3 times. 1, 2, 3, making sure it's low. Then doing the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. Outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. Let's take a look at this. Is it round? Make any adjustments you need to keep that nice and round, and then curl those edges in if it'll let you. Go to the next one. Curl size down. Ruler. 5 inches. Flip the mesh. Curl side down. Measure to 5 inches. And gather. Take off the clip. That looks pretty round, loosely holding it. Put it vertically into the horizontal pipe cleaners. Pipe cleaner nice and tight and low 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, get these pipe cleaners out of the way. Take the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge on one side. Take the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge on the other side, okay? Make any adjustments you need by holding the pipe cleaners and pulling from inside the mesh, not at the edges. Get that nice curled edge there. There. And final piece of mesh on the lower layer, bottom layer. Curl size down. 5 inches clip the mesh. Flip it around. Five inches. Gather in your thumbs, going up the center as closely as you can keep it. Take your time so you don't end up on the corner. And if you do, start over. It's okay to do that. Doesn't hurt a thing. Get that clip off, loosely hold it in your index finger and thumb. Line up the edges. Put it vertically in the horizontal pipe cleaners. Twist tight and low 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Take the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. That's way off. Outside cut edge over the inside cut edge, and hold it from the pipe cleaner to make any adjustments that you need to make to line up your mesh. Or take the mesh out and put it back in. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna probably adjust it a little more here. Not from the outside edge though. Nah, see, that doesn't throw me right there. Let me see what I can. Okay, So now we are going to cut our ribbon, all of it, for the whole wreath so it's done and over and ready to go. So we need to determine the order in which we want our ribbon to go. In this particular project, I did 1 black and 2 beige and whites. So I'm going to go with putting the black in between, and I'm going to do it opposite. So since I put the cabana stripe on the top of this pile, I'm going to put this on the bottom. This on the top. So it's going to be reversed, if that makes sense. So cabana stripe top, cabana stripe bottom. Quatrefoil bottom, quatrefoil top. Okay? And then you have the check in the middle. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut and prep all of these ribbons now for the whole wreath. You're going to have 6 of each because you need 3 in each tie for the ribbon tails. So let's get started. This one's fairly straightforward because it's all patterned ribbons, so you'll know what the top and the back side of each ribbon are without any issues. But I still fold them all appropriately so that if I have to walk away from the project, I can come back and I'm ready to go. So let's start with this. You need your scissors. They're all folded at the 12-inch length that they need to be for the ribbon tails. So you don't have to measure. All you have to do is cut. So you're going to go in the center of the pile and cut up the top fold and at the bottom fold. And you're going to see that that's face down, that's face up. We're going to flip these. Okay. I'm going to do that with the next one. This is a 2.5 inch, this is a 1.5, and this is a 2.5 inch. You can do any combination you want, no more than 3 ribbons per tie. You can do 2 2.5 inch ribbons, or 2 2.5 inches and a 1.5 inch ribbon, or you can do 2 1.5s and a 2.5. Or you can do ribbon ties that have all 3 1.5 inches. But this way we're going to do 2 different combinations. The sky's the limit on how you set it up. Okay? So let me cut the next pile. Get my finger in the middle to hold them. Cut. Turn them all right side up. This pile. Both ends, turn them the same direction. I'm going to come over here to style number 2 of the bundles. Cut at the top and the bottom after I put the finger in the center. Be careful because you end up pulling the wire out and it's no good. You can still use it, you just have less control of the ribbon if the wire comes out. And we only use wired ribbon on our projects because it allows for more control and does a better job of staying where you put it. And the final one in bundle style 2. Okay, the next thing we do is we fold them all in half, directly in half, with the top print on the inside. Making a nice heavy crease at the bottom after we folded them with the printed side to the inside. That's going to help us find the center when we're making the bundles and when we're gathering the ribbon to put in the wreath as ribbon tails. That one. Folding them all in half. Now, how did I come up with these ribbon choices? Good question. Whenever you're creating a wreath, I recommend, as most people do, I don't know anybody that doesn't, that you look at your sign and see what your colors are in that sign. Doesn't have to be the exact same print as in the sign, you're looking for the colors. You can do solid color ribbons with pattern ribbons, all patterned, all solid, it's entirely up to you. You're just looking to match the colors. This is a great neutral everyday wreath. That's why the color combinations match so well with the mesh. It's an everyday basic, great for filling in between holidays, or if you don't decorate for the holidays, you can leave this up all year long. Okay, that's the bundles for this design. Then we're going to fold the ribbon the same way, printed side inside of the pile. Nice heavy crease at the bottom. Keep it as even as possible, unless you cut it at the top incorrectly. There's that bundle. Printed side on the inside. Doing this all now allows you to whiz through the rest of the project and it not seem so tedious. It's not tedious though, but it's fun. Last pile. Four. 5, 6. Okay, so now they're all folded. It's time to cut them all. We're going to do a style to give it a little bit more dimension. It has a couple different names. Make sure you have a trash can too. This is called a dovetail. It's a V. Some people just call it a V. Some people call it a dovetail. Some people call it a ducktail. I call it a dovetail, so that's how I'll be referring it to through the entire process. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut a dovetail in all 36 pieces of this ribbon here. So real quickly, I did want to show you, but now I'm going to take my time and show you slow motion. You always put the you always put the creased side of the ribbon, the fold, down on the table. Then you take the cut side and you fold it in half so that the wires meet evenly. So now you have a folded piece. And you're going to cut from the fold to the top of the wire at about a 45-degree angle to get your design. Okay? And you're going to do that 36 times. Crease down on the table, cut side up, fold it so the wires meet evenly. Cut from the fold to the wire, crease side down, cut side up, fold in half, wire to wire, cut at a 45-degree angle from the crease, and just keep repeating it till they're all done. Crease side down, cut side up. I'm going to accidentally not line this up and fold it in half and cut it from the crease to the wire and see what happens. Well, look at that. You've got a short side and a long side and a short side and a long side. But no worries, you did not waste your ribbon. You just go back and make sure it's folded nice and neatly and that doesn't overlap, which is, it is what it is. Fold it wire to wire, go just a touch lower, cut from the fold to the wire on the edge, and it's fixed. See? And you haven't lost your ribbon. Now, a lot of people cut all of their ribbon in bundles, bunches at a time, like 5 or 6 pieces at a time. If you're new, I don't recommend that because if you make a mistake, you've made a mistake on a lot of the materials, and you don't want to do that. If you mess up on one, it's not so bad, but if you mess up on the whole pile, then there's an issue. So let's go back through this. I'm going to pan out a little bit more so you're not right on top of me. I'm going to do this, and then we're going to crease side down, take the wires to the wires, cut 45-degree angle up to the top of the V, crease side down, Fold it wire to wire, and this is a thicker ribbon, so it's a little harder to fold. Okay. Whoop. Lots of ribbon here. Cut from the fold to the wire. Crease side down, wire to wire. Cut from the fold to the wire at a 45-degree angle. Crease to the wire. Wire to wire. Cut from the crease. Got a little extra wire up there. And if any wire sticks out of the top, just clip it off. Sometimes it moves around in the process of cutting. It is what it is. It doesn't affect how it'll function. Okay. So that's that batch. Now we're going to go with the quatrefoil. Fold it in half with the crease down. Crease down. Wire to wire. Fold. Cut at a 45-degree angle. Crease down, fold at the wire, cut at the fold to the wire at a 45-degree angle. Crease to the wire, to the fold. Crease down, crease down. That bundle's done. Now we'll go to this one. Crease down, wire to wire, cut from the fold. Wire to wire, cut to the fold. Wire to wire, cut to the fold. Wire to wire, to the wire. Wire to wire, cut from the fold to the wire. Wire to wire, cut from the fold to the wire. Let's use the next bundle, which is the 2.5 inch. Crease down, wire to wire, cut from the fold to the wire. Wire to wire, cut from the fold to the wire. Crease side down, wire to wire, crease, fold to the wire, fold side. Cut from the fold side to the wire. Remember when you're cutting from the fold to the wire, not to do it way down here because you'll lose length in your ribbon tail. You want to do it up here to the corner at a 45-degree angle to get the most out of your ribbon. And then our last bundle. Crease side down, fold wire to wire, cut from the fold to the wire, crease side down, wire to wire, fold side to the wire at a 45-degree angle. I know I'm repetitive, but I'm trying to get it ingrained for you guys. Fold to the wire at a 45-degree angle, fold to the wire at a 45-degree angle. Always make sure the crease side is down on the table. Fold wire to wire, fold to the wire at a 45-degree angle, and then this is our last piece. Fold to the wire, okay? Now we're done with the scissors. So this is one style and this is one style bundle, and we're going to assemble them so that we can quickly get them into the wreath. Now this bundle, this ribbon will be on top, so it goes in the bundle first. Then we're going to put the black in the middle, and then we're going to put the small quatrefoil on the bottom. So we're going to make 6 bundles of that, making sure it's all nice and neat and creased. That's 2. That's 3. Stripe in the center, quatrefoil on the outside. That's 3. Stripe in the center, quatrefoil on the outside. And that's why it's important that they're folded the way they are, so you don't have to think about it later, and you can come right back to a project if you have to walk away. And just pick up where you left off. So that's style number 1. And we're going to do the same thing with style number 2. Since the quatrefoil was on the bottom in that bundle, the quatrefoil is going to be on top in the second style with the cabana stripe on the bottom. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since you have 12 twist ties, you have 12 bundles, 6 of each design, okay? You're going to use 3 of each on each level. So I'm going to put these 6 to the side, go with that, okay? And now we are going to put ribbon on this layer, okay? So with the mesh, we had the pipe cleaners horizontal. With the ribbon, we have the pipe cleaners vertical. We're going to take style number 1 bundle, open it up, and we are going to scrunch it where that crease is in the center into our thumb and our index finger. Try to pop those little bubbles out that it makes. And we're going to make a V reversed, so an upside down V. That is so that when we put the bundle in the pipe cleaner, the ribbon is all facing the outside of the wreath. You don't want it all hidden up under here. So now we're going to take the pipe cleaner and we're going to twist it super tight 1 time, and then we're going to twist it up 6 to 8 times to create a 1-inch twist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now see that? That's about a 1-inch. It's about a 1-inch twist. And then you're going to cut off what is not twisted in this pipe cleaner, the excess, with the wire cutters. This is where the wire cutters come in. Okay. You're going to tuck that up, and then you're going to spread your ribbon out in the pattern that you want it in. I'm going to put the cabana stripe up here, and I'm going to put the black in the middle and the quatrefoil down, all facing the outside of the wreath. And then on this side, I'm going to do the opposite. On this side, I'm going to put the cabana stripe facing the outside first, then the black, then the quatrefoil. So this side is opposite from that side. Does that make sense? I'm going to skip the next one, and I'm going to do the same bundle style again. Horizontal. This time it's vertical pipe cleaners. Horizontal ribbon. Open your bundle on the counter, gather it up in your thumb and forefinger, pop those bubbles out if you can, fold it into a V, put it into the vertical pipe cleaners, tight 6 to 8 times after you go 1 really tight, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cut the excess pipe cleaner off so you have a 1-inch stub with your wire cutters. Tuck that 1-inch stub in, pop any bubbles out. Repeat the same pattern you did on that last one if you decide to do it this way. So cabana stripe, black, quatrefoil, all facing the outside. You hold it from the pipe cleaner to make adjustments, and never pull on your ribbon from the outside edges, pull it from here. So then on this side, it's the opposite. Cabana, black, quatrefoil. So I'm going to adjust that out. Skip this one and use the last one on this layer of that design bundle with the pipe cleaners vertically. Lay out your ribbon, gather it where the crease is in the center, put it in your index finger and thumb, pop those little bubbles out, Make a V upside down, put it in your pipe cleaner. Tight low once, and then upwards 6 to 8 times. 2, 3, 4. Get rid of that excess pipe cleaner with your wire cutters. Tuck that pipe cleaner stub like that into the center, and then lay out your ribbon. Don't be afraid of the ribbon. It's in there tight. You can tug on it, just don't tug from the outside edge. Get rid of those bubbles again. And it's gonna fight you. It is. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay, so now we're gonna come back and do the other bundle style in the remaining 3. Again, with layering in this way, it helps keep it lower profile. So we have our pipe cleaner vertical. We've got our bundle in front of us. Gather it at the crease in the center into the index and thumb. Pop those bubbles out. You can make a V, inverted V. Bring it into those pipe cleaners tight and low once. And then 6 to 8 times. Give yourself a 1-inch nub. Cut that pipe cleaner off. If you have good clippers, which I didn't bring today, you can cut right through it. I brought my emergency ones with me. Come on. Okay. Tuck that nub in. This time, since on the other style we put the cabana up top first, this time I'm going to put it down low on the inside. See what I did? And up high here. Reversing the order, as one would say. Come over here, get these pipe cleaners vertical, get another bundle, gather where the crease is from the folds, make an inverted V, get it in there, wreath it. Nice and tight and low once, then upwards to make a 1-inch nub. Twist, 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 twist. Cut the excess off. Tuck that nub in. Spread out your ribbon in the desired order. You can tug on it a little bit. It won't hurt the ribbon at all as long as you don't do it at the ends. Smooth it out with your fingers if it gets a little wrinkly, but you'll do that at the end as well. One more time on this bottom level layer. Gather into your index finger and thumb. Make that inverted V. Nice and tight once, and then upwards 6 to 8 times. Cut the excess. If it lets you. Press that in. Quatrefoil up, black, and cabana stripe down. And the opposite over here. Get in there, mesh. Quatrefoil down, cabana stripe up. Okay, so now you've finished your first layer. See how thin that is? I'm going to turn it over. To show you the other 6 sets of pipe cleaners on ring 3 and 4, we're going to bring them up to the front of the wreath in between each set of mesh now. So we can now do the next layer, which is mesh again. Okay, bring those pipe cleaners up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so back to horizontal pipe cleaner, vertical mesh. Got our last 6 pieces to go. All right. Remember, curl side down. I'm going to use this because it's very clean to hold it down. Get your ruler back out. Measure the 5 inches. Turn it around. Measure it 5 inches. And take that up. And leave it there. And start gathering. Now on this 6 pieces, I'm going to do it my way, the way I'm most comfortable with. I will do one at the end, the original way I taught you. So I gather it with one hand at the 5-inch mark and start gathering while having my hand above it to help hold it flat and to guide it. Keeping an eye on that clip at the end to keep it centered. And I'm sorry I flopped that so loud. Okay. Get yourself loosely into your thumb and forefinger. Get that circle set up as best you can. Then you go over. Go over to your wreath. Put your mesh in vertically, and then you're just going to do tight and low twists 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I stick them up in the edge so they're out of the way. Then I take the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. Outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. Take a look at it and see if it's rounded correctly. And it's not. I'm holding it there. Curl in the edges. Skip one. Go to the next one. Horizontal pipe cleaners. Curl side down on the mesh. Measure the 5 inches. Put your clip on. Turn it around. Measure 5 inches again, because that's your center. On 10-inch mesh, I'm going to do it one-handed again. And watch. You can do it this way or you can do it the other way. With 2 hands into the thumb. I'll re-show that. So you have another reminder. Get that in the thumb and forefinger loosely. Work on getting that rounded. And then you're going to put it vertically in the horizontal pipe cleaners, centered. Twist 3 times tight and low. 1, 2, 3. Outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. Remember, we do that to minimize the exposure of the cut edges so they don't have fray. Curl in the outer edges. These are all hiding, but that's okay. We'll bring them out later. Skip one again. Take those pipe cleaners horizontally to you. Curl side down on the mesh. Inches. 5 inches is the center. Clip there. Flip it around. See those little strings I'm going to cut off. And frays. One-handed, I'm going to hold the other one above it to guide it. Go up the center towards the clip. Keep it as centered as possible. I gotta stop dropping my tools like that. Sorry, guys. Get that circle. Okay, come back over here. Vertical in the horizontal pipe cleaners. Tight and low 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, put it up in the air. Outside cut edge over inside cut edge. Outside cut edge over inside cut edge. It's not circular. So hold the pipe cleaners, grab from the inside to bring it out, just to make it nice and round. Always remembering the outside edges is what's most important. So that's the first 3. Let's do the last 3 pieces of mesh. Measure to the 5-inch mark, put your clip, curl side down, flip it, put that up there, 5 inches. We're going to use 2 hands, just like we did in the beginning, gathering into the thumbs, keeping the thumbs on the outside of the mesh so that all of the mesh can gather into your thumbs. Make sure it's round. Okay. Put that vertically into the horizontal pipe cleaners in the center. Twist and low 3 times. Get that pipe cleaner up out of the way. Put the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. The outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. Let's see. Let's cut. There we go. Next, 2 to go. Okay. Curl side down. Ruler. Clip at 5 inches because that's the center. You will probably, if you make enough of these like me, which is in the thousands, get to a point where you don't need the ruler, you don't need the cutting board, you don't need the clip, especially if you have a design piece of mesh. But it doesn't hurt to use these things so you can minimize redoing your work and wasting product. Okay? Vertically, we're going to put that in the horizontal pipe cleaners. Three times low and tight with the pipe cleaners. Take the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge, the outside cut edge over the inside cut edge. Hold the pipe cleaner in the center to make sure it's nice and circular. Curl under your edges so they stay in place. Get that pipe cleaner up there. And last but not least, this is the final piece of mesh. Curl side down. Clip at 5 inches. Turn it around, still curl side down. See, it gives an attitude when it gets really curly like that. 5 inches, I'm going to do it the way I do it. And try to remember not to fling the clippers this time. Oh, Marguerite. I'll learn, I promise. Alright, put that last one in there. tight and low 3 times. Put it up in the air. Cut side over the inside cut side, outside cut side, over the inside cut edge. Got some frays in there, cut those out. You can do that as you go or when you get done. Let me see. Curl that outer edge under. There we go. All right, so now your mesh is done. In this particular version, because we have a 12-inch round sign that's metal and it has 2 holes in it, we don't need pipe cleaners to attach it. We're just going to determine where our 12 o'clock and our 6 o'clock on a clock would be on this wreath. And I think I like it there. So that's 12 o'clock, that's 6 o'clock. We're going to move these pipe cleaners, 4 sets of pipe cleaners, out of the way because we are going to attach the sign directly to the pipe cleaners before we put the ribbon on. Okay? So we're going to take this pipe cleaner up here and put it through this pipe cleaner and just twist it once to attach it. And then we're going to do the same thing down at the bottom at 6 o'clock with that pipe cleaner. Make sure it's tight but not too tight because you don't want to buckle the sign. Okay? Make sure your pipe cleaners are pulled out as much as possible on the side. And now we attach the ribbon. Same fashion as we did on the lower level, lower layer. Sit down for this. All right, so you're going to spread your pipe cleaners out vertically. You have 2 different designs. So we're going to put in one design and then the other, okay? So that'll be every other again. So let's start with this one. Put it on the table. The difference is this time we're not going to make that inverted V. I like to do more of a starburst design, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. So we're going to, where the crease was in the center, gather the ribbon up into the index finger and the thumb like this. Put it in the pipe cleaners that are vertical. Put it in horizontally, nice and tight 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And when I mean nice and tight, keep it low as well. We're trying to keep this wreath under 4 inches. Get those pipe cleaners out of the way, pop those bubbles out, and we're just going to spread out our ribbon in the pattern that we decide we like the best. I'm going to do the browns on each side of the black, or beige, whatever we want to call the color. Put these up, get that bubble out. It's more of a starburst than a V. See what I'm saying? Come over here, we'll fluff it more at the end. Pop that bubble out. And do the exact same design rather than doing it opposing like we did on the bottom layer. I'm doing it all one way. But again, it's your project. If you decide you want to do it like you did at the bottom layer, by all means do it. Now is when the little peg comes in. If you don't have a peg, use a pen or a pencil. They're nice and thin. And you can either do pigtails, which is what I call these, where you wrap and curl it around the little stick to make it have a little curly cue. I call them piggy tails. That's one way to do it. Okay, you can pull them out and show the little design on them, or put them nice and tight like that. I'm going to skip this pipe cleaner because that's going to be this design bundle. So we're going to come up here to the top, same style bundle. Gather at the crease, no V, because we want to do a little more coverage with this style. This pulled out a little, so I'm going to tuck it back under. There we go. Put that in there. We'll make it all pretty when we get done with putting them all in. Tight and low 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now in this bundle, you pop the bubble out that's in there. That's from gathering the ribbon, okay? You can do it the way I did over here, or you can do it like you did on the bottom layer. Just wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up, and cut the excess off, and then tuck it under the ribbon before you spread out the ribbon, so that you only have just a little nub here, you can either just leave the nub there like that, or you can put a button or some other embellishment on it. But I like the piggy tails, so I'm going to untwist these. So there's only 3, and then I'm going to do my little piggy tails. No worries if you don't flare out your ribbon before you make the piggy tails. It's not a big deal. I go back and forth to break it up. When you're making 8 to 10 wreaths a day, sometimes you got to break up the monotony by mixing it up a little, if you know what I mean. So, quatrefoil up. Cabana down, black in the middle. Curl it with your fingers. Or with this, that's another way to curl it, which I might probably do at the end. It gives a little bit more curl. Let's do the other side. Remember, turn the wreath around, just like with the cake, to the position that is most comfortable for you, so you can have fun while you're doing this and not be all contorted. Okay, so we skip the next one and do the last bundle that is that style. Gather it in the center where the crease is into your thumb and first finger, your index finger. Put it into the vertical pipe cleaner. Tighten low 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Put that up in the air for now. Spread your bundles out as you desire. I always lift and separate. Always try to. The other side. Lift and separate. I think this covers the mesh a little more, which I'm fine with because the mesh is just your solid foundation. Okay, so now we're going to go back and do the other style bundles in the final 3. And then, oh, almost forgot to do my piggy tails. That's okay, I could have done that at the end. Some people wait to the end to do that part because they don't always know whether they want to cut them off or leave them, so gives you a second chance to change your mind, right? Okay. So vertical pipe cleaners, gather at that crease, the index finger and thumb, put it in the wreaths, pipe cleaners that are vertical, tighten low 3 times, 1, 2, 3. Now this is way off in length, so I'm going to use my clippers to make them the same length because otherwise that'll bug me. Keep them uniform. Okay. Now I'm going to spread these out, and since on the other bundle style I put the quatrefoil up, on this style I'm going to put the quatrefoil down and the striped up cabana stripe. See what I did there? Pop that bubble out. It's a big one. Lift and separate. Lift and separate. Fluff and play with those bubbles again. Curl my pipe cleaners. Making the piggy tails. And I'll stand up to look at it and make sure everything's facing the right direction, not cockeyed. Pipe cleaners, vertical, ribbon at the crease, gather the index finger and thumb, put in the pipe cleaner, twist tight and low 3 times, 1, 2, 3. Separate, so this went down and that went up. Because we're doing opposing. Gives it more dimension, depth. Up, middle, down. We'll come back and fluff that up in a little bit. Take those pigtails, curl it around the peg. I'm starting to lose my voice. Goodness. And last but not least, let's get this one done. Pipe cleaners, vertical. Ribbon on the table, gather at the crease, into the index finger and thumb, pop out those bubbles, put it in the pipe cleaner, nice and tight, 3 times and low. 1, 2, 3. Get that out of the way. Lift and separate. Cabana stripe, black and quatrefoil. Lift and separate cabana stripe, black and quatrefoil. Wrap that around to make the pigtail. And do that. Now I'm going to stand up to fluff everything. I always start at the bottom. I should try to actually. Let's see. So that one is quatrefoil black and that, then that, and this. This time it's cabana stripe. Quatrefoil cabana stripe. This one is cabana quatrefoil there. Quatrefoil cabana stripe. Okay, so now I'm going to go around and either you can do it all 3 at the same time or curl it separately. I like 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock's ribbon to be on top. So of the ribbons on each side. So this is 6 o'clock. There we go. You can fluff all day. Let's see. And there it is. Okay, and there you have it. It's completed. You did it. This is a really simple design, great for every day. Everything, as you saw, was in the kit that you needed except for some basic tools that most people have around the house. Super easy to do. This one was a little bit different with the metal sign because of the way we attached it. We didn't have to attach any pipe cleaners to the actual sign. In the directions that you receive, it'll talk about putting pipe cleaners on the sign. You can put them on the sign with cable tie mounts, which you'll learn in another tutorial. But you don't need to. This way is the fastest, easiest, and most secure way without having any extra supplies versus the wood signs where you have to staple pipe cleaners on the back. And with the metal signs, they're a little bit more weatherproof. Don't forget also the order of the ribbon and the mesh on the top is purely subjective. You could have put the ribbon on before the sign, but I like the ribbon to frame the sign, so that's why I do it that way. So it's up to you whether you do it or not. You could also accessorize it with buttons and other little embellishments. Just don't forget, you don't want it to go over 4 inches deep. I'd like to thank you again for coming to our channel today to watch this tutorial. We'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to our channel. Click the bell. The description for everything in the kits and how to get the kits and other kits and other product are in the description. So I'll leave it there. Say thank you once again. And if you have any questions, reach out and let us know. Have a great day. Thanks.